It's the morning of day 4 in eastern Utah. Yesterday, after an amazing drive through an incredible red rock canyon, I tried to get up into the mountains. A routing snafu led me to veer off into Colorado, where I tangled with some locals.
Hey you, stay on the trail. Can't camp there.
Then things got worse, and I retreated back down to the red rock. Today, I'm going to try again to attain higher elevations, and as I head out of camp, the sun is rising directly over the mountains I'm aiming for. I've been driving back into Moab every morning to refuel, so I'm thrilled to stumble upon a gas station a few miles south of town, which will save me some driving.
Well, climbing steadily, 7,700 feet, still on pavement, not complaining. Well, this leg of the adventure is as much about acclimating for Colorado next week as it is about exploring and seeing things. I've stopped here at about 9,600 feet, and I've been drinking water like crazy. I don't remember the exact scientific principle behind the being hydrated, but it has to do with the blood and how well it can carry oxygen, so I'm really trying hard to stay very hydrated. Decided I would just stop and do a little physical activity at this level before driving even further up. There's not a whole lot of view, and what view there is, it's kind of hazy out there. So when there's cool stuff to film, I'll film it. I am up at Geyser Pass, and it's interesting because it's very, very forested, and we're up over 10,000 feet. Now in Oregon, our tallest summit, Mount Hood, is just a little over 10,000 feet. Pretty much, this would be the top of Mount Hood right here, but it's way above the tree line. So I guess it's different varieties of trees, or trees that have adapted to higher elevations. So there's not really any vista or anything. I can kind of see some of the mountain peaks filtered through the trees, but the whole point here was to get up to elevation. And I'm walking around here at 10,600, feeling not bad actually. And there are a ton of people up here. I have seen so many vehicles going in both directions that I lost count. All the way up this road to the top of the pass, sort of main gravel road. There's lots of campsites off the road, and there were people camped in most of them. I have seen people dressed in camo look like they had bows in their side-by-side, so maybe it's archery season here for something. Today is Saturday, and it is hot, down in the Moab area, so I suppose this is a nice spot to come up and get out of the heat. It's very pleasantly cool up here. There's some pretty nice mountain views over there to the left, but too many trees. This road is just cruising along at 10,500 feet, just sort of wrapping around the sides of the mountain. I feel pretty good. So as I came up out of that little lake, I crossed paths with a game warden actually, and he said, "Hey, did you see anyone fishing down there on that lake?" I said, "No, I couldn't see anyone, but I wasn't really looking either." But he said that it is indeed archery season for deer and elk right now. So I definitely am seeing hunters.
In very little time, I'm back down the far side of the mountains, and I've decided to air up and head out of this area.
So I made it up to the top of Geyser Pass before 10 a.m. and then coming down the other side, I was thinking I would do some exploring or whatever up in there, maybe find some place to camp or not. It was so early in the day, and it was so crawling with hunters just everywhere. All the campsites had hunters in them, and even just exploring the trails didn't seem all that exciting just because it was constantly crossing paths with side-by-sides. So there's this other mountain range that's a little further from town, right over there. It may also be crawling with hunters. I've kind of got sort of a backroads route planned, and then head up into those mountains and hopefully find a place to camp for tonight somewhere at some elevation.
Meanwhile, I've seen some things on the map that might be interesting, so I'm just going to take my time and roam a bit as I work my way towards that other mountain range. I could see this rock casting a shadow in the satellite imagery, as well as a dirt road wrapping around behind it. It's roughly on my way, so why not take a look?
I mean, as far as Utah rock formations go, it's not that impressive. But if I were to find something like this in Oregon, I'd be ecstatic. I wouldn't go out of my way to come and see this, but this was reasonably on my way just by taking back roads instead of being on the highway.
This I did not notice on maps or satellite, but holy cow, look at that enormous cave. I've got to take a closer look at that. I've managed to find my way over to that crazy rock, although this road passes along the wrong side of it. It is BLM land, and there's a dirt road, so let's see if this might get us there. This trail isn't going to do it. I'm on the wrong end of that rock, but looking at the map again, I see that I missed another trail back at the other end. I've had to set off on foot, but wow, this thing is much bigger than I realized. That's still not even the cave I saw from a distance. Driving further down the trail, it's not getting any closer, but at least I'm getting a better view. I don't know if you'd call that a cave or an arch, but wow, it is immense.
Well, I'm glad I spotted that thing out across the landscape. That was really cool. In fact, it's probably more interesting than any of the points of interest that I had planned to sort of swing by today. I did not know that was there. I realized that it was way too steep and way too big. There was no way to get up into there in any way. It was really cool to see it up closer like that. That was definitely worth the little detour. Okay, well there's the mountains, and as I'm coming down this road, I was seeing lightning up above them. So, might be some weather going on there too. Although I'm definitely gonna stick to gravel roads and nothing that's just dirt.
Partway up the flanks of the mountain range, I found a charming little lake that seems like a good spot to stop and have some lunch. Nearby, a doe and her fawn have apparently decided it's lunchtime for them as well. There are indeed quite a few people camped up in these mountains as well. By driving up some of the narrower, gnarlier trails, I am finding open campsites. This is not bad. It's kind of tucked in the aspens. Every place I go, I find more deer. This is just the little side road I went up to check out, and all these deer are lucky I'm not a hunter. I'm not necessarily looking for campsites, but I'm just driving up little side roads, and so I keep finding campsites. This one actually has a pretty nice view of the rocky areas out there, kind of some of the stuff that I was out in the previous days. But given the tendency of lightning to be coming and going up here, it feels a little exposed. I don't think I'm going to have too much trouble finding a place to camp, but I'm going to take a peek at this campground just in case. So this is Buckboard Campground, and it's pretty cute. There's campsites in the oaks, and then there's campsites in the aspen, and then there are some fearless deer who apparently don't realize that it's hunting season. It's $20 a night. Looked like there was running water and pit toilets. I don't think I'll camp here tonight, but it's not a bad spot. There's another campground just down the road, so now I'm curious to see this one as well. Now this campground also has available spaces kind of tucked in the trees. Picnic table, barbecue, and deer come with the campsite. So Dalton Springs Campground, also $20. It's not as nice as the other one. Plenty of space here though. This little trail dead ends right here, but this looks like a nice spot to make camp for the night. Okay, well, it took a little more wiggling to get into place here, but fortunately there's plenty of rock to level out the tires. This is a nice cozy little spot in the trees here. We're at about 8,500 feet. But what I like about it is how the fire pit has this window out to the rest of the state beyond. Now this area up here is definitely under campfire ban, but I'm at 8,500 feet, and so it may get chilly tonight. I do have the propane fire pit with me that we could set up and use and enjoy a little bit of a campfire tonight. We'll see if it gets cool or not. So this little spur where I found this campsite is really narrow and has very low hanging branches, kind of like a little gatekeeper here to keep the big rigs out of here. Almost every campsite that I've seen occupied has had a big truck with a big trailer or toy hauler or big camper on it. So I don't think anyone will drive up here. Now the only downside is the fact that I'm not super far from sort of the main paved road. It comes up here, and even though this spot is like really tucked in up here, I'm up high above the road and I can really hear it. So they go ripping by on their side-by-sides or big trucks pulling trailers. It's a little noisy, but hopefully that'll die off as the evening gets a little later. Pardon me. Panting just a little bit, but I feel not bad at all considering the elevation. It's been sprinkling on and off all afternoon, but now the rain seems to have really set in. Well, I tell you what, it was so nice to go to bed last night and actually put on warm clothes and climb into my sleeping bag and have it be chilly in the camper. Oh, I slept so well. It rained on and off through the night. Still kind of sprinkling a little bit here this morning. I got through all the stuff I planned to do in Utah. So coming up next will be the adventures in the Colorado mountains. I hope you've enjoyed this series. Be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any future episodes. If you enjoy the content that I provide for free each week, I would ask you to consider coming and checking out my Patreon page. You can become a member for as little as $3 a month. That gives you access to exclusive extra content, behind the scenes stuff, sneak peeks, direct messaging with me, and other benefits are available. So if you'd like to see these videos keep showing up every Saturday morning, consider just a couple of bucks a month buying me 1 cup of coffee a month. And that makes all the difference when many of you join together and help make all this possible. For now, I'm gonna pack up camp and head back down the mountains. I usually finish off my videos with a shot of the truck heading off into the distance, but I'm gonna end this one with a look back through some of my favorite shots throughout all of the Utah series. Thank you for watching.